How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to Seattle Kraken Franchise Mode, episode number 32, moving into year number 8, the 2028-29 regular season. Happy Easter weekend to everyone. I hope that you are enjoying your weekend, enjoying your Saturday, as this is getting uploaded on the Saturday of our Easter weekend in 2022. Hope that you're able to relax, celebrate, and it's a very important weekend, so hope you're able to take the time to remember that. In the last one, we had a very unexpected off-season that saw us lose who we thought would be our third and even our fourth line centers in Jamison Reese and Dylan Gambrell. We even tried to go after Sidney Crosby, didn't work out, and we ended up saying, okay, instead of going Beniers to the wing and Popov to second line center, let's keep Popov as third line center and go after a second line winger. We signed Daniel Sprong to a 1-year, $7.5 million contract. He is an 86 overall, 31 years of age, and he is a pretty consistent 60-point scorer. He's been on Washington for a very long time here, since 2020-21, so he left for free agency after spending a lot of time with them. And although being a sniper, he consistently puts up 30 to 40 plus assists. So on that second line with Beniers, and especially with Chris Moss, the 5-star shooting sniper, we're looking forward to seeing how he does there. On our third line, we have our captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, one of the last remaining original Kraken. Fourth line, Pasi Lume. Here's one thing that was unfortunate, but Pasi Lume, with his 64 faceoffs, I wasn't feeling ready to put him into third line center. So that's why he'll go fourth line center, hopefully grow those faceoffs. If not, he'll just become a winger, and we'll give him special teams time. This is how the lineup is looking at the moment and how I think it will look after the preseason is done, but you never know what can happen in the preseason. That spot to Vesa Heiskanen, or maybe even to Pasi Lume, I don't know what, but especially on defense, Riker Evans, Tiny Morrison, all those spots are up for grabs because there are other players in our system who are going to be wanting to fight for them in the AHL, and as our 13th forward and 7th defenseman, even our 8th defenseman in Vince Sloan. So it'll be a good preseason. We figure out how our team's going to be looking heading into year number 8, as we'll be trying to capture our 4th Stanley Cup in 5 seasons. Getting in the comments for last one, just a lot of thoughts about the preseason. Jackson saying that we should use the time to give major ice time to Rajala, Heiskanen, Kobasu, Morrison, Sloan, and Evans. These are the guys who need ice time with important players that will give them every opportunity to succeed, and then we'll be able to see who comes through. Kobasu looking nice with those X factors, but 3 offensive defensemen that are only good enough for third pair minutes might not be ideal long term. Maybe we look to move whoever disappoints the most for a defensive defenseman so we can balance it out as third pair guys. Should not be letting in goals, most importantly, rather than scoring a bunch. Well said. Scott adding on to that, Riker Evans needs to be number 2 and maybe an A, LOL. Shout out to anyone who catches the Star Trek Next Generation reference. But yeah, I think preseason should see a lot of Kobasu, Heiskanen, Rajala, Kobasu, Sloan, even Bocage, not Lafreniere, but Laferriere, Bolduc, Phillips, and Lundberg down in the AHL. So those are the guys we'll be giving a few chances to in the preseason. And we even had some thoughts from Ed here about the contract situation. He says we should give Tarasenko his $4.1 million for 1 year immediately so we can save money on next year's cap. Nathan MacKinnon's salary, he wants about 15% of around 13.7, so it only costs a little bit more than he's making right now. 2-year deal is not bad. It's Alex Tuck. No way that he can stay. He's currently making 5.15. He wants upwards of 12. Even if we 85% that, it's going to be, still over 10 million for him. Popov in the second line would give him a better chance to grow, so maybe try Beniers, Popov, and Sprung, and even look into an NHL associate or assistant coach with defensive style and high learning so as to help the defenseman grow. So very important things to think about right there. When we look at our expiring contracts next year, it's going to be a very difficult offseason next year. Nathan MacKinnon, first off, we have over 36 million in extension dollars. If we do give him 2 years, he only wants 11.825, and 85% of that is just over 10.05. So we could go 10.075 for 2 years, so just over $20 million for 2 more years of Nathan MacKinnon. A little bit of a hometown discount for a man who's won, 2 Art Rosses in 3, no, it's 2 Hart trophies in 3 years. But is it back-to-back Art Ross trophies? No, I think he didn't win anything last year, so it would be 2 Art Ross, Harts and Ted Lindsay's in the last 3 years for Nathan MacKinnon, from 2025-26 and also in 2027-28. Last couple of years have been amazing. Bit of a hometown discount, as this has become his home for the last a long while, last 6 years now. So we could keep him around for 2 more years, pay him over $20 million. We know he's going to start to decline a little bit into 34 and 35, but we know that right now he's still the 95 overall franchise cornerstone, and we'd love to keep him around for as long as possible, even though Matty Beniers could go number 1 if need be. Alex Tuch, he is not staying on this team unless his demand comes down by a lot. Ethan Bear, I'm going to wait for his demand to come down a little bit as well. Sprong, we don't know enough about yet. Popov, we're not able to offer him anything yet. And Vladimir Tarasenko, we could offer him a nice deal. We could get him 2 years in the $3 million, but his demand will continue to go down over the course of the season, even if he does well, due to his age and his potential dropping. So there's no rush on Vladimir Tarasenko. Kobasu, we haven't seen enough from him yet, but he would want, there's nothing, all these other guys, we don't know enough about them yet. So Nathan MacKinnon's the only extension I want to send out now. If he does accept, then that would leave us with 36.025 minus what we offered him. It would leave us with $25.95 million to fill out the rest of our lineup. So keep all that in mind. Goaltenders, we don't need to think about those. Malik, we could offer him something, but I'm not sure. It wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. But we'll wait a little bit. We don't want to cheese the system too much, or we give him another $800,000 deal when he'd really be getting a bit more than that. But at the same time, you don't want to wait too long that he has too good of a season. It's been a very small sample size for Malik, as there's been some injuries. There's been fighting with Matt Murray last season, so we didn't get to see too much of him, but what we did see was very nice. All that being said, we can sim to our next preseason game against the Vancouver Canucks. The scouts have been sent out, and hey, there it is! Bang! Easy decision to decide to end my contract with you. It's important for me to get what I want in the contract duration, so it was an easy to agree to this renewal. It's like you said the same thing 3 times. Great. Nathan MacKinnon, thank you very much. 2 more years of him after this one. So that means 3 years of Nathan MacKinnon are good to go this year and 2 more after that. Very, very important to have him locked down. Even if he starts to dip, no problem to pay him that for all that he's done so far. Now, heading into the preseason, I'm not going to be showing you the lineup every single game, talking about my decisions every single game, then simming through the games, making my decisions. That's what I can do as a general manager. I can do that off screen. I don't need to bore you with that. But what I can do is just give you little flashes here and there, as opposed to between, say, game 3 and 4 of the preseason. I explain what happened, show you my changes, who's out, who's in. I just say, bang, here's the lineup for game 1 of the preseason. Bang, based on what happened in game 1, here's the lineup for game 2. Bang, based on game 2, here's the lineup for game 3, and so forth. Because I think it's going to save us a lot of time, because we still have to go through the first half of the regular season. I'm going to explain myself at the end of the preseason when we make our decisions. But until then, just leave it in the hands of GM data. So, for game 1 of the preseason, here are some of the names that we want to be looking at. And there we go. So we'll give some top-line minutes to Asher Maloney. Popov's going to play between Moss and Sprong. The 4th line moves up to our 3rd line. And on the 4th line, we have Laferriere, Rayala, and Bocage all getting some debut minutes there, even though it's the preseason there with the Kraken. Kozlov will play top minutes with Bear. Kobasu will play with Morrison. And Evans will play with Jiricek. Between the pipes will go Malik. We have no 3rd goalie vying for playtime this year. So, whenever we do get an injury, it might just go to one of our AHL guys, because we have so many goalies, even though none of them would really be ready for long term. If we did have a long-term injury, which is not unusual with Peyton Wilm being a bit injury prone, we may have to go out and acquire a goalie. But I don't want to get another one when we already have 4 in the minor system there. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you game number 1 of the preseason. I don't want to show you all of them. Why not look at the first one just for kicks? First period here with the lines as they were there. Shots 19-7, 0-0. Second period 2-0. Marco scoring twice. 40 shots through 2 periods. I don't think I've ever seen that. Bocage scoring to make it 3-0 before Smith makes it 3-1. And in the end, it is a 4-1 game as Vesa Heiskanen adds a goal. 4-1 the final. 3 stars. Marco with a couple goals. Bear a couple of assists. That's great. Ethan Bear, always such a fantastic leader in this organization. Just looking at the plus minuses here. Anyone falling apart a little bit? No, just some zeros. Not a lot of ice time. 10 minutes for the 4th line guys. Actually, that's pretty decent. Kobasu played almost more than 23.5 minutes. He would look to be solid enough. No points for Sprong. All right, so now based on the results here, I'll bring you to this screen actually at the end of each game, and I'll say based on the results, I think we're going to move out Bear, Marco, and Beniers, and we'll bring in some other names to continue to rotate the lineup to look like this. Game 2 lineup looking like this. Pretty much the second line getting first line minutes. Instead of Beniers, it's going to be Popov, Sprong, and Moss on the wings. Bocage will give him top 6 minutes after a goal last game. Rayala on the third line will play in the middle of Heiskanen and Bergenheim instead of Lume, who will get second line minutes. Lafayette, Phillips, Tarasenko on the fourth. Defense, Kobasu, Yurchek, Kozlov, Sloan, Evans, and Morrison with Malik between the pipes. Also, I was looking into potentially changing up our coaching, but we already do have a defenseman teaching specialty coach in our system who has an A rating for teaching, B- for coach influence, which is not bad. But I don't know, do I go ahead and fire an A- coach who has a year left just to get someone who's like a B or a C+ who has better teaching specialty for defensemen? I don't think so. So we already have one for defense. Hopefully that does something for our guys, but it's hard to change up our coaching staff more than that if we already have a defenseman-oriented coach, because it's just we had so much success, right? But I do see the point. Well, I don't know if growth is just broken or if something that we can actually fix. But keep that in mind heading into the second half of the season if you have a comment related to that. Game 2 of the preseason ends 5-3 for the Oilers. In this one, we had 2 points from Daniel Sprong. Keep calling him Dylan all the time. But some tough negatives here. -2 for Rayala, Maloney, Evans, Bergenheim, and Morrison. Not great. -1s for Lume, Bocage, and Heiskanen. Although Bocage did score another goal. So there's the early candidate for someone who may want to be making a name for himself. Moss scored, Bocage, Popov, the 3 goal scorers right there. Popov looked great. Fourth line played okay of Lafayette, Tarasenko, and Phillips. So I think we'll move out Morrison, Evans, and Maloney and change up the lineup according to that. So for Game 3, we'll do a bit of a crazy first line here with Bocage. He scored twice. He'll play first line with Lume and Tuck on the wing. Second line will stay normal as we're hoping it to be. Moss, Beniers, Sprong. Heiskanen, Ayala, Bergenheim third. Lafayette, Phillips, Tarasenko fourth. Kozlov up with Yurchek. Chikrin with Kobasu, +3 and +2. Sloan with Kalle Lundberg. I know it's a -3, but just give them the ice time down there. And Peyton Wilm will make his debut as he played backup for a couple games. Interesting Game 3 here as we beat Vegas 5-3. Goal scorers in this one. 2 from Rayala, 1 from Sloan, 1 from Moss, and 1 from Yurchek. A couple of assists for Matty Beniers as well. Negatives, though, for Tuck, Tarasenko, and Phillips on that fourth line. Tarasenko and Phillips there. Bit of an odd thing to see, but 2-point games from Beniers, Sloan, Moss, and Rayala. Very nice to see that from Rayala, so he will stay in the lineup. Sloan will also stay in the lineup. Lume, Heiskanen, Bergenheim, all with an assist as well, so very nice to see that. I think we'll swap out. Bocage did well, though, while he played 22.5 minutes, didn't really do anything, but a solid enough game without any zeros, but no shots on net. That's the difficult part. As a first-line winger with all that ice time, I'd want to see him generating a bit more. And we'll make the lines look like this for game number 4. Next preseason game, first line going to go Maloney, Lume, Tuck. Second line, the second and third line, both the same still. Sprong, Beniers, Moss, and Heiskanen, Rayala, Bergenheim. Fourth line, Tarasenko and Bocage with Zachary Bolzuk down the middle, making his first preseason game here. Defensively, Chikrin, Evans, Sloan, Morrison, and Kobasu Lundberg. Goaltending will give Malik another start. 3-2 shootout loss to the San Jose Sharks. Goal scorers in this one. Kalle Lundberg, a goal and an assist, playing 24 minutes, leading the team in points as well, the only multi-point scorer. Beniers with the other goal, Kobasu, Rayala, and Sprong with the assist. Rayala has been impressing me. Meanwhile, Pasi Lume, who's gotten a lot of ice time, -2 there. I don't know if it's because of the face-offs or what. Does it tell me what he did in the face-offs? He was 12 for 28. So 42.9% on the draw. Maybe moving him to the wing is the better thing. I want to keep giving him games, but most likely at the wing, I think, from now on. Maybe he's not even our fourth-line center. Maybe Bergenheim ends up being our fourth-line center, because I believe he has 77 face-offs, but I digress. Bolzuk only played in 4.5 minutes. I don't think that's because of fourth-line minutes. I think that might have been because of an injury. Aside from that, +1s for most of the players there. Heiskanen and Moss. -2 for Maloney as well. So Chikrin, another solid 25-minute game. We'll swap him out with Ethan Bear. We'll make a couple other changes for our next game, but definitely want to keep Lundberg and Rayala in the lineup. Preseason Game 5, we'll go Maloney, McKinnon, Tuck, Tarasenko, Popov, and Bocage. The whole second line going to be changed up there. Third line is the potential future fourth line of Heiskanen, Bergenheim, and Lume now. Bergenheim at center with the 78 faceoffs. Fourth line, Rayala, Bolduc, and Phillips. Defense, Lundberg, Bear, Sloan, Morrison, Kobasu, Evans. Between the pipes, we'll give Wilm another start. Tough 3-1 loss to the Ducks. It was 4 goals in the first period and nothing in the second and third from either team there. Looking at the plus minuses here. -2s from Heiskanen, Lume, Evans, Kobasu, Bergenheim. Yikes. -1s as well from Tarasenko, Bocage, and Popov. But Tuck, McKinnon, and Maloney, the only pluses in this one. It was Tuck from McKinnon, the only goal of the night. Not much I can say for the rest of the players. There's not much to show. I do see, though, that Lundberg and Bear each played over 26 minutes. Lundberg leading the team in ice time, just 9 seconds shy, of 27 minutes. So that's been good to see that he can be a workhorse if need be. We're seeing a Tiny Morrison, 18.5 minutes a night. That's good to see as well. Bocage, I think I've seen enough of him for now. I'm not saying he's off the team. Maybe he's 13th forward kind of guy, but I think I've seen enough for now. Same for Bolduc. Nothing crazy, solid enough. Maybe between him and Phillips, we give one more game to either of them. But yeah, we didn't see enough really to make too many big decisions here. Although I may give a little less ice time to Evans here. -2 with under 14 minutes of ice time as a defenseman. We're just looking at the defense. Oh, it doesn't show us just the defense, eh? But just sorting by the negatives, the only negatives being Kobasu and Evans. But let's swap out Kobasu and Evans regardless, and we'll go from there. All right, Game 6 now. Tuck, McKinnon, and Rayala. I want to see more from him. He has 4 points in 5 games. Let's try and give him every opportunity possible. Second line, Marco, Popov, Maloney. Third, again, Heiskanen, Bergenheim, Lume. And fourth, Bocage, Bolduc, and Tarasenko. Defensively, Lundberg, Bear, Sloan, Morrison again, but now this time Kozlov and Yerchek on the third defensive pair, and we'll give Malik the start. 5-2 victory against the Calgary Flames. Very nice to get back into our winning ways. 2 goals from McKinnon, goal from Marco, Popov, and Bergenheim. Very nice there. Ethan Bear with a couple of assists. Looking at the points there we go. 1 assist for Kalle Lundberg, +2 with almost 26 minutes of ice time. He's really making a name for himself here. Rayala, 1 assist and a +2. Tuck, a +2. Tiny Morrison, a +2 as well. Zeros only from Bocage, Bolduc, and Tarasenko, the fourth line. Only playing 8 and 7 pretty much minutes each, generating 3 shots combined. But another assist from Heiskanen, another assist from Maloney, solid +1s from Yerchek, and no one who really had a particularly bad outing. Just that now as we get close to the end, only 2 more games in the preseason, I think we'll start looking at potential final lineups as opposed to more experimentation. So guys like Bolduc are probably going to be on their way back down to the minors. We'll definitely keep our options open. So this will be the 7th and final game. I thought there was one more after this one. This will be the last game. So here's our idea of the lineup through the preseason. Tuck, McKinnon, Marco, Sprong, Beniers, Moss, Maloney, Popov, Tarasenko. Fourth line being Lume, Bergenheim, and Rayala. Defense, Chychrun, Bear, Kozlov, Yerchek. But the third pair, even though it's a -3, Sloan and Lundberg. Sloan through 5 games has a goal and 2 assists with a +2. Lundberg through 4 games has a goal and 2 assists with a +3. So in between Sloan and Kobasu right now, it's tough because Boris Kobasu, he has a bit of a smaller sample size. It's Riker, the smaller sample size. Kobasu through 5 games has 1 assist and an even +-, while Riker Evans in the preseason played only 3 games, I believe, and in those 4 games has 1 assist and is a -3. So that's what's hurting his case a little bit right now. So it's between Kobasu and Sloan pretty much for 7th defenseman. For 8th defenseman, because Tiny Morrison's kind of there as 7th, as he has 5 games, no points, +1. Very difficult right now. Heiskanen through 6 games had a goal and 3 assists, 4 points. Not bad at all, but the fourth line has been tough competition with Lume, 2 assists, not great, but he is an 83 overall. We need to grow. Bergenheim had 3 points and Rayala with 5 points. Who would move out to make room for Vesa Heiskanen? I'm not sure, really. That's what is a very difficult conundrum for us at the moment. But this is how we'll run for our last game of the preseason. Wilm will get the start. He has not been great in the 2 games that he played. Malik played in 4. He looked pretty solid. We'll go with Wilm to watch this last game. We'll do it live. A lot of tough decisions because even though there are some that make it a bit easier, there's a lot of good players who could do, like 3-4 guys who could do one or two positions. So against the LA Kings now, last game of the preseason. Let's see it. First period, 1-1. Maloney scoring. Second period, goals from Popov and Beniers. And third period, 6-2. Bergenheim scores twice, and the captain, Vladimir Tarasenko, ends it off. So a 6-goal game against the LA Kings. Multi-point games from Maloney, Bear, Tarasenko, Kozlov, Lume, Bergenheim, and Popov. So they heard me talking, and they really want to solidify their spots in that fourth line. Lume looking good with a couple of assists right there. Any negatives for the plus-minuses? Tuck, Lundberg, Sloan, and McKinnon. Lundberg and Sloan looked very solid in the preseason, especially Lundberg, but a -1. Maybe playing with Sloan pulls him down because of the negative chemistry. It would have to be Lundberg and Evans, I think, to make it not be a negative due to them both being offensive defensemen. That's the hard part. But let's look at things on a bit more of a global perspective here as we go to the point totals and see everybody in one place. Leading the points through 4 games only out of the 7. Ethan Bear with 6 points. You can't see totals for guys like Bocage and everybody else because they're in the AHL. We'll check them out separately in a moment. But Popov 6-5, Ayala 6-7, and Bear 6-4. Bergenheim with 5 in all 7 games. Beniers with 5-4. Maloney 5-6. Marco 3 goals, 4 points in just 3 games. Heiskanen 4-6. Sprong 4-5. Lume 4-7. McKinnon 3-3. Moss 3-5 with 2 goals. Lundberg 3 points plus 2 through those 5 games. Tuck 3 points in 5 games. Sloan 3 points plus 1 through 6 games. Tarasenko just 2 points in 6 games. Kozlov 2 points and a +5, looking good with Yurchek, who was a +3. Chikrin, Morrison, no points, +1 in 5 games. Goaltending here, Malik 2-1-1, Wilm 2-1-0. Neither with, actually, I gotta say, Malik's numbers were pretty solid. Wilm's were, left some desiring from us, but hopefully the 6'4", 24-year-old, who is no longer a rookie. He's entering what will be now year number 5 with the Kraken. It's only less than 200 games in those 4 seasons due to injury. Last season was a full season, full health. Not the craziest numbers, so I'm looking forward to a good season from Peyton Wilm. But it's a lot of tough decisions now heading into the regular season in the AHL. Looking at some of the guys that played some time in the NHL. We had Lafayette, who scored 1 assist in 3 games, was a +1. Matthew Phillips, we were glad to finally get him some NHL minutes, even though it was just the preseason. He had no points, was a -1 in 3 games. And Alex Bocage, he did okay the first couple games, dropped off towards the end. He played in 6 out of the 7 games, 2 goals, -2. In those last 4, didn't do anything. Bolzuk also had some minutes on the 4th line. Didn't get too much playing time, but in the 3 games didn't do anything. Had 1 shot on net through 3 games. Not fantastic. Riker Evans, we already saw his numbers. He's an 81 overall. He might have to play or go. I don't think he can do another season in the AHL. 1 assist, -3 in 4 games. We'll see how he fits, though, with if we play him with Kalle Lundberg. And goaltending, nothing to look at there. So, Kobasu, didn't look at Kobasu. So he played in 5 preseason games, and he had 1 assist, and even +-. So it's tough with all the, the offensive defensemen. He's listed as a top 6 D-man. I think he has to play, but there's all these guys that have to play. Vince Sloan might have been the odd man out, but he had 3 points +1 in 6 games. Can we really rationalize taking him out? How much do we go by overall and X factors, and how much do we go by performance? So we could call up one more guy, and I guess that would be Riker Evans. Let's see. So on the 3rd defensive pair with Kalle Lundberg, he gives it a 0. So Lundberg, the difference between 75 and 78, -3 is a lot. -1 is whatever, but -3 is a lot. Maybe we give Riker Evans 3rd line minutes with Kalle Lundberg, but then that means Tiny Morrison's a healthy scratch with medium league potential. I don't know if I can rationalize that either. It's just that he has a terrible line fit on the 3rd defensive pair. Yes, the player types are good, but the line is a -3. That's what's killing it, the -3. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to try to live with the -3. It's really brutal. I'm going to try and live with the -3. We're going to give special teams time to guys like Tiny Morrison, to guys like Popov and Lume. Let me fix up the lines with the special teams, NHL, AHL. After that, difficult preseason. I'm trying to talk through a lot of my thinking process. It's not easy, but a lot will come down to how these guys finally perform once the puck drops on the regular season. So give me a minute to do that. All right, so here we go. Forward looking like this, defense looking like that to start the season. Special teams, here's the power play. +3, +1 on the units to start things off. Now, note, I did add a couple of X factors for Vitaly Popov that have to do with his playmaking and passing ability. The man has 99 passing, 99 hand-eye, 99 deking. I should probably add even more, but I just kept it at that. At the same time, I went around the NHL, and to keep everything balanced, I added X factors for players who have grown from the real world who never got X factors added to them. Names like Trevor Zegras, Jack Hughes, Alexis Lafreniere, Nick Suzuki, players who are now 92, 93 overall who never got their X factors. Players who are generated and come into the league, they already have their X factors, so that's fine, but I wanted to balance things out a little bit, and I added, at least made sure that every team had their top player who had an X factor at the very least, but all those wrongs have been righted. -1 on the second unit, unfortunately, but we're going to see what happens with them. Penalty kill is going to be fantastic, +5, +3. Hopefully they stay okay, so we don't have to think about them too much, but we'll keep an eye on the percentages, 3-man PK, extras, all that good stuff. Goaltending, Wilman Malik. Scratches, 2D and 1 forward. We'll see what happens. But that's how we're thinking headed into year number 8. Likely Tuck's last season, possibly Tarasenko's last season. Who knows what happens with the rest of the team. But to start things off, the 2028-29 regular season will be at Madison Square Garden against the New York Rangers. Showtime in New York. The Kraken, after losing last year Game 7 Round 2 to Anaheim, it stopped their four-peat ambitions and aspirations. Now we're looking to capture 4 cups in 5 years, and it all starts here. And the first shot of the season goes in. It's Nathan MacKinnon, the reigning Hart, Ted Lindsay, and Art Ross winner. Oh my goodness, let's do it. First period ends 1-0. Second period now 3-0 Kraken. MacKinnon's second of the game, and Captain Vlad, 36, going on 37 in a couple months, gets his first of 2028-29. Van Riemsdyk scoring on Wilm for the Rangers, cutting our lead to 2. Power plays traded for both sides, both killed off. Shots now 30-23 in our favor. We're up by 2, more than halfway through this third and final period. 6 minutes left. It's been a lot of offense from our top guys. 5-on-3 power play for the Rangers. Likely a goalie pulled. Nothing coming for New York. We kill it all off, and we hang on for the 3-1 victory, getting outshot 36-33 in the end. But Peyton Will makes 35 saves for first star honors. Nate MacKinnon gets 2 goals, and Jake Chychrun with 2 assists. Great way to start the season. 3-1 the final. So before we start thinking about looking at changes to the regular lineup or to any of the special teams, we want to get a little bit of a sample size in there. So let's sim the first 10 games of the season, and we'll go see the Minnesota Wild. That is a game that is just 3 weeks away. That'll be the 10th of the season. We beat the Buffalo Sabres 5-2 before getting shut out by the Bruins 5-0. Then we shut out the Coyotes ourselves 1-0. A big 7-2 victory against the San Jose Sharks. At home against the Stars, another shutout victory. 2 1-0 victories in 3 games as we beat Dallas at home. Rangers, we beat them 3-1 for the second time in 3 weeks. And the undefeated Calgary Flames are 5-0. We shut them out 1-0 again. 3 1-0 shutouts in the span of 5 games. Kalle Lundberg, ooh, concussion. That's going to keep him out, so to November, so about 3 months. Kalle Lundberg out for about 3 months. Oh, the poor kid. What was he doing before then? He was a +3, no points in 9 games. Oh, that's too bad. It does open things up, but it is unfortunate. So defensively, with Tiny Morrison, I'm going to put Riker Evans there for now. We'll see what happens. It's better for... Well, actually... because now the offensive defenseman's out. With Riker Evans, it's a -2. With Vince Sloan, it's a -5. What? I've never seen a -5, I don't think. At least it's been a very long time. So I guess we'll try Riker Evans, only a -2. Okay, we'll keep on simulating to game number 10 like that. The undefeated Calgary Flames, we said... Now the calendar's all messed up. Come on, we beat them 1-0. Yeah, we said that. That's true. It was 2-0 loss against the Islanders. So we're either shutting out teams or we're getting shut out. But through 9 games, we're 7-2-0 with 3 shutout victories. Game number 10 now against the Minnesota Wild at home. Looking to go 8-2-0 through our first 10. That'll be a nice, juicy start for us. Let's see it. First period, 1-0. Chris Moss on the power play. Second period, 2-2. Kaprizov ties it up. McKinnon on the power play puts us back ahead, but then Arvidsson ties it up once more. Shots tied at 24. Game tied at 2. Both of our goals coming on the power play. Headed into this third and final period. Chris Moss, even strength, his second of the night, and then Isaiah Marco, who by the way has 99 shooting accuracy for slap shots and wrist shots. I just noticed that. Makes it 4-2, but then Vickers cuts our lead to 1. 4-3 Kraken with 8 minutes to go. Shots 32-32. 5 minutes left. Our big scorers are coming through. I'd love to see some depth, maybe some bottom 6 guys, but that's okay. We'll take the 4-3 victory. Shots end 37-34 in our favor. First star honors to Chris Moss, 2 goals and an assist. Marco and McKinnon both getting a goal and an assist apiece. You just love to see that. Through our first 10 games, your Seattle Kraken are 8-2-0. So let's just sim forward to the game against the Avalanche. Quickly check out what's going on in the rest of the hockey world. Leading our team in points, let's see it. 15 points in 10 games for Nathan McKinnon. We are atop the Pacific Division as well. So through 10 games, Nathan McKinnon, 8 goals and 15 points. Double the amount of goals as his closest next opponent here in team scoring, as Chris Moss has 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points for him. Isaiah Marco has 9. Beniers also with 8. Tuck with 6. Maloney, 5 assists for the playmaker. Chychrun, 4 points, -3. A bit odd there to see that with the negatives, but small sample size. Tarasenko, 2 goals and 3 points. He's not really getting much ice time these days as a third liner. I might try and give him special teams time, because last year he thrived on the special teams when he had 10 power play goals and 19 power play points. So I think I'd rather put him there than, say, Lume, who has no power play point, 1 power play point, but no power play goals, no power play point. Again, small sample size. But still, I'd probably rather take off a guy like Chychrun, or, I don't know, someone's got to come off for Tarasenko probably. He still has his 4.5-star shooting. He's still valuable. But I digress. Sprong, only 1 goal and 3 points for him, which is a bit odd. Yurchek, 3 points and a +6. That's great. Popov, only 2 points. He's playing a bit odd for the ice time there. Third line minutes plus power play and penalty kill. I'm surprised it's under 11 a night. I'm not sure what's happening there. Lume, 2. Rayala, 1. Evans, 1 game there. Lundberg, 9. Ethan Bear, 10 games and no points with an even +-. And nothing from Bergenheim, or even a lot of zeros down here. Nothing from Kozlov either. Goaltending's been fantastic, though. Peyton Williams been shut down. 6-1-0 with 3 shutouts, 947 save percentage, 1.43 goals against. Malik 2-1-0 with a 931 and 2.01 goals against average. So although the power play points or whatever, the power play percentages will speak a bit more to what's actually happening. We are currently the 5th best team in the NHL, but obviously games in hand are a bit different here. 2.5 goals for per game is kind of low relatively, but 1.6 goals against. Power play percentage at 24% is so-so, and penalty kill at 86.4, one of the highest in the league, so that's good. But let's see what we can do. Let's play around with some of the names here in this lineup. For the power play, let's try Popov instead of Beniers at the point of unit number 1 to give it a +5. And on the second unit, Beniers will go center, and Tarasenko will play on the wing. Lume, I don't know what to do with Lume. He doesn't really fit at center. He's becoming more of a winger. Sniper, who is well-rounded and good defensively, so maybe we try and fit him in on the penalty kill. But hopefully he can try to do something right now with his current ice time. We'll see. I don't want to make big changes based on just 10 games, but for now I'm going to be cutting him from the power play and giving more time to Tarasenko, because we got to think about the team first. Defensively, I'm going to swap Yurchek and Bear on units pairs 1 and 2. And for the offense, I think I'll keep it as is, even though Sprong's a bit concerning and Popov's a bit concerning. I'll keep the rest as is, and we'll do another 10 games or so, and then we can think about any more adjustments that would come. So let's advance 3 weeks. We'll take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're currently 8-1-0. It'll be a 2025 and 2027 Stanley Cup rematch. We've had lots of experience playing them in the last 2 of our 3 Stanley Cup championships. The Red Wings fire their head coach very early into the season. We beat the Avalanche, Nathan MacKinnon's old team, 5-4 in overtime. 7-3 win against the Canucks. 8-1 win against the Hawks. There we go. There is that offense. 3-1 win against the Edmonton Oilers. That's now a 5-game winning streak. 7-2 win against the Canucks. We outscored them 14-5 in those 2 games. Now we're taking on the Hawks once more. 8-1 win followed by a 7-5 win. So the goals just keep on coming. St. Louis now, then we lose 8-5 against them. Blowout win or blowout loss in terms of goals allowed or goals scored. 4-1 loss there against the Coyotes, the first time that we're held off the scoreboard by quite a bit. 5-2 loss against the Flyers there, so we lose 3 in a row after that, 6-game winning streak. And then a 1-0 loss against the Hurricanes. So we had 4, 5, 6, we had a 7-game winning streak, followed by a 4-game losing streak. We are 14-6-0, taking on the 15-2-0 Toronto Maple Leafs, followed by the 17-5-0 Florida Panthers. So I hope everyone had their vitamins and had a nice big bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, because we're going to be playing very hard over the next 48 hours in this little Eastern Conference swing. Let's do it. First period, 2-0 Maple Leafs. Mitch Marner scoring twice on Peyton Wilm. Second period now, 3-0 as Mitch Marner has a hat trick just 23 minutes and 8 seconds into this game. 3-0 Leafs now, 4-0. Mitch Marner's 4th of the night. Sprong stops the bleeding and brings us within 3. We're being outshot 32-17, and Marco ended up adding 1 late. So 4 goals in 44 minutes and 48 seconds. Is that it? For Mitch Marner. That's crazy. All 4 goals going to Mitch Marner. Sprong and Marco scoring for us, but not enough. 4 on 38 shots past Peyton Wilm. First star of the night, obviously, to Mitch Marner with his 4 goals. That first line, it was all that first line as Marner scores the 4, and Matthews and Nylander getting 3 assists each. So that's a tough loss. We've now lost 5 in a row for the first time in a very long time. And it's going to be Malik between the pipes against the Panthers. We're 14-7-0. That's a bit of an odd record. I hate that we've lost 5 in a row. At least make it spread out, because the momentum, the sports psychology behind it all. Let's go, boys. Let's stop it right here. Malik between the pipes. Let's give him some support. Let's see some depth scoring as well as we've had in the last few games. 8 goals for, 7 goals for. Here we go. First period. Oh, my goodness. Where's the defense? Huberdeau, Barkov, and Denisenko. 3 goals on 8 shots. Wow. Second period, 3-2. Okay, Ethan Bear, potentially his first of the season, and Chris Moss as well, just about a minute after. So shots are 23-15 in our favor, but we're down by 1. 3-2 Florida headed into the third period here. Let's go. We only have power play opportunity. With that +5 in the first unit, there it is. Nathan MacKinnon ties it up. The third of the night past Spencer Knight. 3-3 game halfway through the third. Close to doubling the Panthers' shots, 32-18 in our favor. Power play opportunity killed off, and then Barkov, early power play goal. Power play again for the Panthers, killed off. 2 minutes left, final minute now, and that's it. 4-3 loss. 37-21 the shots. I don't even want to see the stars. What in the world? 6 straight losses. We are 14-2-0, and now we're 14-8-0. That, we got to do something. I know there were 2 tough opponents there, but now after 6 losses in a row, we got to do something. MacKinnon carrying this team. I don't know what to say here. What's up with the third defensive pair? Evans, he's a +5. Morrison a +4. Bear -1. Kozlov +3. Yurchek +14. And Chikrin +5. So I don't know what's up there. Did the goaltending just fall apart? 889, 914. I don't know. Let's go back to Wilm, I guess. But I don't know where the deficiency is. Is Sprong scoring? He has only 2 goals? 10 assists, but 12 points. I want to see more from Sprong. Moss 20 points with 10 goals. Maloney. Maybe it's the third line a little bit. I don't know. Fourth line, -4, -5, -6. Maybe let's take out Rajala. Let's take out Rajala, and we'll bring in Vesa Heiskanen, I think. Let's try that, if that does anything. Takes off the +1, but that's okay. Vesa Heiskanen's going to come into the lineup. Hopefully that fourth line can wake up a little bit. I know we want more of a defensive fourth line, and we've been speaking about, but Pasiluma, yes, he's listed as a sniper, but 87 defensive awareness, 85 shot blocking, and 90 stick checking. Bergenheim, a 2-way forward, that's great. Heiskanen, yes, he's a sniper, and I will concede his defense isn't good. But Rayala, not much better, even though with a higher defensive awareness as a two-way forward. So we'll give Vesa Heiskanen a try, but just the lineup in general has not been impressing me. Can some fourth line changes really make a big difference to this team on a 6-game losing streak? Let's try and end it at the Bell Center. The Canadians are 10, 11, and 1. Nathan MacKinnon is just doing what he can to drag this team like Atlas with the world on his back. Globe just being carried. Here we go. First period against the Canadians, 3-1. Great start. Tuck scores twice and Moss scores once. Valesi getting one past Wilm. Second period, 3-2 as Josh Brook brings the Canadians within 1. Just about doubling their shots, 29-16. We're only up by 1 goal in this third period to snap this 6-game losing streak. Power play for the Canadians is killed off. Power play Seattle now, and Chris Moss, who just always finds a way to score in these slow sims. Love to see this. 4-2 game as he has his second of the night. Up by 2. Will it be enough with 4 minutes left? Closing in on 40 shots. The 40th shot of the game is a goal from the captain. Will he bring the Canadians back within 2 late? But we hang on for the 5-3 victory. Shots 40-31, and Vlad getting the insurance right there. First star, Alex Tuck with 2, Chris Moss with 2, and Theo Rachette with 2 assists for the Canadians. So at least that's good. Snap that losing streak. We get win number 15, thankfully. Through 23 games. Let's check out what's going on with the scoring. A little bit larger than the sample size I wanted. 13 games instead of 10, but we had to snap that losing streak. So as we just saw, 39 points and 19 goals for Nathan MacKinnon through 23 games. Isaiah Marco well above a point per game now with 29. Beniers point per game at 23. And Chris Moss 22 in 23. Great stuff from him. Tuck 20. Chychrun 16 points and a +5. He's turning up the heat. Popov 15, that's great to see as well. That's a nice improvement. Sprong is the one who's scaring me with 12 points in 23 games. That's a pace of like 7.1 goals on the season. So I know we're not looking for anything crazy, but he should be a 15 to 20 plus goal guy as long as he's getting the assists along with it. So that's been a bit disturbing. Tarasenko 11, Maloney 11, Ethan Bear 6 with a +1. Lume 5 points, -5, scaring me. Yurchek 5 points, +14. Love to see that. Tiny Morrison 4 points and a +3. I don't know, man. I'm trying to get Tiny Morrison to grow. Maybe putting him on the power play would be a good idea. Chychrun's been good though on the power play. Chychrun 3 power play points. I'm gonna try to find a way to get Morrison in there maybe. Rayala 3 points, -6. Bergenheim 2, -6. Yikes. Kozlov 2 points, +5. Evans 1 assist and a +4. Heiskanen a -1 in the 1 game that he played. Goaltending has dropped off a little bit. Goals against average is still solid. It's more Malik dropping off than Wilm, though, who's 10-6-0 with a .913 save percentage, 2.38 goals against average. It's Malik, who's dropped below 900 save percentage and lets in about 3 a night. So we'll make sure that Wilm is playing as many as possible. I'm going to see if I can touch upon the special teams. Just a chemistry that's killing me. So I'm going to try Morrison over Sprong. That's how bad Sprong has been. He only has 1 power play point, and I might even try moving him down, maybe swapping him with Maloney. Popov gives the second line a +5, but then there's no one to play center there. So let's try swapping Sprong and Maloney. Maloney's been the better playmaker, so let's try him with Beniers and Moss. It keeps the +2. Maybe Sprong can wake up there with Popov and Tarasenko. I don't know what. I know he's more of the playmaker. Tarasenko would be the scorer on the line because Popov's also more of a playmaker, but let's just see what happens. Fourth line still on a short leash, and defense will stay the same. As we're heading into a couple games against the Flyers and the Golden Knights, we'll go see the Maple Leafs again. They're 17-2-0. That's crazy. Into the month of December now. The Flyers are 11-6-6. We beat them 4-1. Very nice. And the Vegas Golden Knights are 7-13-4. We gotta beat them. Shootout loss 5-4. It's our first non-regulation loss. 16-8-1 is our record up against the 19-2-0 Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's do it. Here's a massive test for us with a couple changes. Will they do anything? First period action, 1-0, Asher Maloney. Okay, they do something. The second line, oh, right. Shots tied at 11. Second period, 2-0, Nathan MacKinnon. So the top 6 coming through. Shots 24-21 in our favor. Power play Toronto early, we kill it off. Power play Seattle now. And Jiricek scores on the power play. 3-0 Kraken. Another power play opportunity. It's an extended one. And this time it's Tarasenko on the second power play unit. So the second line, which had an alteration, the second power play unit, which had an alteration, another power play, Isaiah Marco makes it 5-0. The changes worked, at least in some capacity. A 5-0 shutout of the NHL's top team. 29 saves from Peyton Williams to get, what, his 4th shutout of the year? No, it's Malik! Wow, he proved me wrong. Malik, his first shutout of the season, a goal and 2 assists from McKinnon and Marco. I don't know why he was playing. It wasn't a back-to-back. I wanted Williams to be in nets for sure. And thankfully, he comes through with a huge shutout. Popov, mild concussion, out for about a week, it seems like. So that means we'll have to rearrange things a little bit. I'll have Bergenheim come as 3rd-line center. Lume can go 4th-line center, maybe depending on face-offs. And actually, Rayala is the center, so he can go center. There we go. So not ideal for the 3rd line, but that'll be the starting lineup. I'll just make the special teams changes. And there we go. So thankfully, it's not a long-term injury for him. Just going to be about to the game against the Hurricanes, so he'll just miss a couple games there. So we'll sim towards there. St. Louis and Washington are next 2 opponents. Just giving the Maple Leafs their 3rd loss of the season. Likely their first time getting shut out all year as well. St. Louis Blues, we beat them 5-2. Very nice. And now the Washington Capitals, Daniel Sprong's old team, Popov's fully healed, we'll get him in the lineup for next game. We beat them 4-1. So just like that, after our 6-game losing streak, we are 5-0-1 in our last 6 games to go 19-8-1. So now with Popov back, we'll fix up this lineup to get back to full health and get ready for the Hurricanes. All right, lineup's good to go. Just advancing a couple days because I want to get some more names signed down for the AHL. The team's been struggling, so I just threw in a couple prospects there. 4-3 shootout win against the Carolina Hurricanes, a 2026 Stanley Cup Final rematch, and one more day here against the LA Kings. Looking for just a couple more names. There we go, Norena and Edmonds, couple guys, because the team's been struggling, and because of the call-ups and everything, there's some generated 50 overalls are down there. 4-2 loss against the LA Kings to bring us to a record of 29-1, as I'll just fix up the AHL lineup. Okay, much better down in the AHL. It was looking a bit shameful. Still haven't really figured out what we're going to do with those goalies. Probably a deadline decision that we'll think about around the end of this episode, going into the beginning of next one, as we'll get closer to the trade deadline and trade pieces like that for things like draft picks or whatever else. Moving into the month of January. So waiting to find the Anaheim Ducks. I haven't seen them anywhere towards the end of January. So let's just keep sitting, not to any particular date. Just let's get some more games under our belts as we get closer to the halfway mark. We'll be stopping at game number 41. 5-4 loss against the Lightning. 3-1 loss against the Jets. 3-game losing streak, which is broken up by a 5-4 overtime win against the LA Kings. 5-3 win against the Vancouver Canucks. Very nice to see that. 5-2 loss against the Sharks, taking on the Canucks again. This time a 2-1 win, and then a 4-3 loss. All these 1-goal games once again creeping up on us. Let's keep going as we get closer to game number 41. Playing San Jose once again. We're 12-17-6. They beat us 5-2 last time, and this time they lose to us by a score of 4-2. There we go. So we're looking for win number 25 still. Getting closer to the halfway mark. Going up against Philip Gustafson and the New Jersey Devils, who are 19-13-4. At home, we lose 5-4 in a shootout against them. Taking on the Canadians once again. They've been a good bounce-back kind of team. We beat them 4-2. There we go. Let's hope that gets the momentum going now. Game number 41, I believe, for us. Yes, here against the Detroit Red Wings in Detroit. It's hot. It's ready. It's Little Caesars Arena. We're 25-13-2. They're 18-18-3. Let's go out on a high note for the halfway point. Let's see it. First period, 3-1. Sprong opens up the scoring with one of his few goals on the year. Lucas Raymond ties it back up, and then a power play goal from Moss and an even strength goal from Ethan Bear. 3-1 after 20. Second period now, 4-3. Veleno scores in the power play. Marco scores in the power play. But then Zadina getting the better of the second period for the Red Wings. Shots are 21-13 in our favor, but a 4-3 game. 7 goals already. We're up by 1 with just 20 minutes to go. Power play for the Red Wings early, and Crosby, I think it's Joseph Crosby, on the Red Wings, ties it up. Another power play for the Red Wings. This time we kill it off. Halfway through the third, shots 26-21. It is a tie game. Next goal will be a huge one. And it's Chris Moss, the 5-star shooting coming through. Power play killed off by the Red Wings. Final minute now. Stumbling over all my words, and it's a 5-4 victory for Seattle. Shots end 31-25, and we take it as Chris Moss gets the GWG and first star of the night. 3 assists from Vitaly Popov. Love that as well. Big dub. I don't really ask how they come. A dub is a dub, and we get win number 26 on the season. Any changes? How are things looking in the AHL since those changes? Let's see. It is loss, loss, loss. Fantastic. Great. We're 13, 22, and 5. Beautiful. Next game will be up against the Ottawa Senators to start off next episode. But for now, let's look how things are shaping up halfway through the year. Nathan MacKinnon on pace for 122 points. We ourselves are on pace for 52 wins, currently atop the Pacific Division and the third best team in the NHL, best team in the West, as Toronto and Florida are up there, but definitely Toronto leading by far. They're 33-6-0. Gotta check out their points in a second when we get to ours. We're scoring 3.56 a game and allowing 2.76. The Leafs at 2.26 against. That's crazy. Our power play is at 25.2%, which is best in the NHL. That's really nice to see. And our penalty kills at 80.4. Definitely closer to the bottom. Yeah, definitely closer to the bottom than the top at 80.4%. Even though you'd think that according to the line chemistry, our penalty kill would be 10 times better than our power play. But I guess that's not the case. So through 41 games, Nathan MacKinnon on pace for 46 goals and 122 points. There's not much to say about him. It just does not get better than Nate MacKinnon at the age of 33. He is just carrying this team, as we were saying. Atlas with the globe on his back. Isaiah Marco on pace for 88 points. He is 3 points above a point per game at the moment. Matty Beniers on pace for another solid 80-point season. He is very consistent. Chris Moss on pace for 40 goals and 70 points, which would be a great improvement on last year's 60 points. He continues to dominate in the goal scoring. Him and Nathan MacKinnon carrying that. Alex Tuck, 30 points in 41 games. I wonder if his contract demands have gone down as he's on pace for 60 points. Vitaly Popov, 27 and 39 with 7 power play points. Chychrun, 27 and 41, but only a +1. Sprong with 26. That's better now. He's with 13 goals, 13 assists. Okay, that's better. He's on pace for a 52-point season. He had a little bit of power play time when Popov was injured. He has a couple power play points. Maloney, 25 in 41 on pace for 50, which would be a career high. Tarasenko, 23 in 41. He's still doing what he can at the age of 37 now. Ethan Bear, 11 points and a +8. Lume, 11 points and -7. Bergenheim, 10 points and -2. That's an improvement from the plus minuses there. Tiny Morrison, 9 points and a +12. I like to see that. Yurchek, 9 points and a +10. Kozlov, 6 points and a +11. Evans, 5 points and a +14. Very nice, number one. Heiskanen, 3 points and a -1 through 19 games. Rayala, 3 points and a -7 through 24 games. Lundberg will be back from injury soon, actually, in about a week. So we'll see. Should he come back into the lineup, or should we ease him back by putting him in the AHL? He is listed as minor top 2D. Goaltending, let's see how things are looking there. Peyton Wilm is 17, 9 and 2 with 3 shutouts, a .904 save percentage, and 2.64 goals against. His numbers have declined a little bit. Malik's have improved. He's 9-4-0 with 1 shutout, .901 save percentage, 2.81 goals against average. Just curious about the Toronto Maple Leafs. I gotta see this. No one's really running away with anything crazy. Travis Dermott has 34 points. Nylander, Steele, Greenway, Frost, former Seattle Kraken Martin Kaut. And goaltending-wise, they have Korpisalo, who hasn't done anything too crazy, but this guy, Garen Bjorklund, 80 overall, 6th-round pick in 2020, is 9-0-0. Of course he is. Of course. So as we wrap things up, we have to check out the trade blocks around the NHL as we think about potential moves that we may want to make headed into the second half of this season. So just looking at skaters matching the block and sorting by overall, looking at contract status. The Ducks have quite a few names on the block here, most of them with 2 years left, but some with 1. Lundstrom, Schmaltz, Lindblom, and Parayko all with 2. Ball, Joseph, Comfort, Jones with 1. Interesting ideas there. Let me know if you want to know more about any of these players or if we should scout any of these players. It's all up to you. The Coyotes have these prospects, Shen, Kreider, not the real Shen and Kreider, a bunch of names though from the Coyotes. Bruins, more prospects. Buffalo Sabres, prospects. Calgary Flames, nobody. Carolina Hurricanes, prospects. Chicago Blackhawks, Voracek and Kane, both 80 overall, but both with a ton of trade value, and Kane with a couple years left on his deal. Curious how they're doing. 33 points in 39 games for Voracek, and wow, 36 points in 39 games for Patrick Kane. Colorado Avalanche, nobody on their block. Blue Jackets, prospects. Dallas Stars, John Marino, Jonathan Marchessault, Pontus Aberg, and Devon Shore, correct? Or is it Drew Shore? Devon Shore, all on the block for the Dallas Stars. Marchessault is an interesting one at an 80 overall. We don't know anything about him, though. Likely in his final season. Someone to keep in mind. Red Wings have Jake Gensel with 3 years left on his deal on the block. Potential. I don't know. Are we thinking about future second liners for us? They don't fit. Doesn't seem to fit the scheme. Maybe we're not even only thinking about rentals. Maybe we're thinking about the future second line left winger if we move on from Sprong after this season. Sorelli, Toffoli, Lawton. Because that could come in the form of free agency next year, or it could come in the form of there's someone crazy on the block that won't come around again. Florida Panthers, Donato, Casey Middlestat, more prospects from the Kings, Minnesota Wild, Athanasiou, and Sidney Crosby. But a 2-year deal and a lot of trade value for the 41-year-old who is having a great season with the Minnesota Wild. He has 41 points, would be on pace for above 80 points when he scored 52 last year, 75 the year before. So he's on a he's on a great pace right now, which would be the highest of the last few years. Montreal Canadiens prospects, Nashville Predators prospects, New Jersey Devils prospects. Everybody just has all kinds of prospects out here. Islanders, same thing. Rangers have Josh Anderson, Vitaly Kravtsov, Mangiapane, Zibanejad, and a bunch of one-year guys all on the trade block. Good deal from Kravtsov, 2 years at 2.9, but only 17 points from him. This might fit our top 6. He's currently playing 4th line. That's why his numbers are down. So that's an interesting idea for us storyline-wise as well. Josh Anderson there. Ottawa Senators, prospects, Philadelphia Flyers, Dawson Mercer still unsigned, Kachuk, Iafallo, Pittsburgh Penguins, Dylan Gambrell on the block there. Do we bring him back? 2 points in 11 games to be our 4th line center. San Jose Sharks, Thomas Hertl, last year of his deal, plays center/left wing, only 16 points in 41 games though, playing second line and fits our second line, so that would be tempting actually. That's something. Trade value is there. Nothing too wild. Keller, Ratcliffe. Okay. Keep Thomas Hertl in mind. St. Louis Blues have Tom Wilson on the block. Tampa Bay Lightning prospects. Toronto Maple Leafs prospects, of course. Canucks, Nathan Bastian and Bowers. Timmins, Morrissey, Shillington on the block with Vegas. Then a bunch of one-year guys from McCabe down. Edmondson, Pietrangelo, Nichushkin. Maybe if we want some defensive help, not sure. But our defense seems to be holding up pretty well. Uyghur on the block for the Capitals, as well as Pajot and Ernie. Jets, Scheifele, Grue, and Domi. Grue and Domi, one-year deals for them. We were thinking about Max Domi in free agency at one point. And Benoit Olivier Grue, 16 points. And that is it for the trade blocks. If we did want to make some trades, here are the values of our players. If we look at our draft picks as well. Draft pick situation, we have our first, 2 seconds, a third, 3/4, 2/5, and a 6th in this upcoming draft, which is medium for class quality and prospect quality as well. Just going by all skaters actually. Franchise, of course, from Nathan MacKinnon. A lot of trade value from all these guys. Beach, a medium elite prospect in our system. He was drafted 3rd round last year. He has quite a bit of value. Morrissey still has a lot of value. I don't know if we want to capitalize on him or hope that he grows. Burrows, we have a lot of hope for him. Kobasu, capitalize on his value. I don't know. Do these guys make the team or do we cut our losses? Same for Lundberg. Same for Rolison, maybe. Sprong likely stays to the end of the year. Quinville and a lot of our prospects down here. Nitamaki, is he going to ever be anything? Lume down the list. Unsigned prospects. Sloan, his value continues to drop. Goaltending-wise, we know that we have an abundance of some prospects at the moment. Wouldn't be a bad idea to think about trading one of them. Maybe Bladder's the odd man out with his overall and age, although he does have medium-elite potential. Maybe Bladder in a deal for a guy like we just said before, in that Thomas Hertl deal or the Jonathan Marchessault deal. Also keep in mind that we do not have like any salary cap right now, so we have to be moving out money, or the other team would have to be retaining money. There has to be something going on if we're going to make the contract situation work. And back to thinking about the contracts as well. Alex Tuch have his demands come down? Yes, absolutely. So he would take 1 year, 8.325. 85% of that is 7.07. So it would be 7.1. We go 1, 2, or even 3 years at 7.1 for Alex Tuch. Not bad for an 89 overall. $2 million more than he's making now, but still an 89 overall. He does have a great spot in our top 6. Moss can, I don't know, does he need to go to the first line next year? I don't know. We could do 1 more year of Tuch. Ethan Bear is happy to stay for something in the $6 million range, a little bit of a boost to what he's making now. Sprong, I don't think that he'll be staying on, although it would be in the 6s. Popov would be wanting 1 year at 7. Ooh, these are weird numbers for him right now. Worst case, we just qualify. Tarasenko wanted 4.1 for 1 year. Now he wants 3.9. Even we go 2 years in the 2 millions for Tarasenko. Not a bad idea for Tarasenko there. Kobasu, Heiskanen, all those guys down the list. And Nick Malik, if we want to sign him to an extension. He really does not want much money, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to go 2 years at $900K. Give him exactly what he's making right now. Just give him 2 more years of $900K. So all things to consider for you, my assistant general manager friends, down here in the comments on YouTube or over on the Discord server. The link is in the description for that. Hope you enjoyed this first half of the season. It was a tough preseason, some tough decisions. I know some of you might be saying we're squandering some players or burying others, but it's really tough to make these decisions. That's why I'm looking forward to taking this pause right here and hearing back from all of you. If you enjoyed this first half of the season, 26 wins, on pace for 52, be sure to leave a like. It really helps out the video and the channel. And if you haven't already subscribed, now would be a fantastic time to do so. Doesn't cost anything, and you'll be made aware of all the uploads on the channel: NHL 22, FIFA 22, NHL 07, Datacast podcasts, all that great stuff. As we're moving towards the end of the school year, much more content coming your way. Of course, now focusing on trying to finish up Seattle as we are in our last couple of seasons or so. So you definitely don't want to miss the series wrap up and heading into our next NHL 22 franchise mode as well. But all that being said, I hope that you have a fantastic rest of your Easter weekend. Easter is such an important day, so I hope that you're able to take a minute to reflect on that. Very much appreciate and thank you for taking the time to watch, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.